Today is the big day for all of us. We are gathered here for the event named E-Debate, The Big Fight Season 1. So defend what you believe in. I, Manasvi Rawat, along with Pooja Mishra, Anshli Avasti, Priya Jain, extends your warm welcome. A very good afternoon to Dr. Amarjeet Singh Khalsa Sir, Group Director, IFR Group of Institutions, Bhopal. All the respected faculty members, my colleagues, and the star of the show, the participants. The platform like this gives us an opportunity to express our thoughts and brush up our skills. There is much more to thrive and much more to show. So let's rejoice the majestic journey. To viewers, before calling the participants on each stage, I would like to introduce you to the panel of juries. So today we have Mr. So today we have Dr. Ashish Ghosh sir along with Dr. Amit Tiwari sir. Pooja, over to you.
Thank you, Manasvi. Before calling the participants, let me read out the rules given to the participants. And participants are requested to follow the rules and regulations. All the participants must be compulsorily in formal attires, and participant must keep their camera on visible mode. Each participant will be given 2 minutes to share their respective opinion. And at the end, each participant will be given 1 minute to counter argue and conclude their debate. All the participants must note that there must not be any political or religious tint in the content of their debate, whether it is in favor or against the topic.
So let's start a glorious day with a quote. It is better to debate a question without setting it than to debate a question with than to settle a debate without questioning it. Now, I would request my fellow host Anjali to take the debate frontwards.
Thank you, Manasvi. Hello and welcome all. Thank you, Manasvi. Hello and welcome all. So, our first topic for the debate is it possible to survive without Chinese product? Now, I would like to welcome the participants who will speak for the topic. Praful Katyar, Nilesh Agrawal, Shubhi Shivraman, Stani Shushan John. And I would like to welcome the participants who will speak against the topic. Mini Budhwani, Rajesh Kumar Manglani, Jitesh Tolani, Himanshi Nema. I will request to Praful to speak for the topic and share his views.
So good morning. The topic is, can we survive without China? So I can say yes, we can survive without China. So like why we are holding this China a lot. This China is a god. So without them, the world could not survive. No, didn't we survive in 70s or 80s without China? So there is a man who's known as the father of modern China, Deng Xiaoping, who was although he's a communist, but he's greatly has knowledge of economics, and he knows that capitalism is important. So he focuses on the two things: the infrastructure development and the skill development. So what this India needs to focus on it. So if we see now in the electronics sector, India is now getting self-reliant. Like over one. Over 24 companies are pledges that it will invest 1.5 billion dollar to set up the mobile factories in India, and iPhone also 11 is going to export from Chennai, and government has also announced the production link initiative that will give incentives to the countries companies. Like Indian government announced the PLI schemes, and it is expected that it will come in the all on the other sector like chemical and fertilizer sectors. If we talk about the infrastructure development, so NHI, National Highway Authority of India, has announced that it will construct 23 new highways corridors in India, and it invests 3.3 lakh crore will be completed by 2025. It will reduce the time and the cost by 50%. And if you see the Indian policies, like like India is also focusing on improving the business policies, like ease of doing business is our rank has improved, and it is expected it will improve more in the near future. And India's has also focusing on the TV sector. And if we talk about the pharmaceutical sector, the government is also focusing on the API, active pharmaceutical ingredient, that will boost the our pharmaceutical industry. And many more sectors are there.
Thank you, Praful, for your wonderful views. Now I would like Mini Budvani to speak against the topic.
Uh, Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mini Budhwani, and I am against of the motion. Yes, many countries have reduced their reliance on China, but 100% self-reliance or dependency won't be easy because of China's major contribution to the world economy. In 1978, China contributed about 1.8% to the global GDP, which was like very minimalistic. But coming towards 2020, it was 9.3%. Also, according to Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco, now China is the second largest exporter uh, in the economy. So this itself says the dependency of other countries on China. Also, China has a major rule over manufacturing through electronics and pharmaceuticals. According to a article published on June 2020 in Times of India, 80% of the raw material in India for pharmaceuticals is being imported by China. Also, in electronics, major brands like Xiaomi, Vivo, etc., are generating huge employment in the country, as well as in 2020 June, according to census.gov, US imported 28,300 US billion dollars more from China than export. It means there is unfavorable balance of trade. US itself, a developed country, is importing more from China than exports. Then how you can suggest that a developing country will be 100% self-reliant in the coming years? Thank you.
Thank you, Mini, for your wonderful words. I'll request to Nilesh to speak for the topic and share his views.
Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to say that necessity is the mother of invention. Yes, it is possible to live without Chinese products, and by boycotting the Chinese products, we can help our nation by boosting the growth of domestic industries. This is the crucial time for India to get focus over the other nation to invest, because they are shifting their plants from China to other developing nations like India, Bangladesh, etc. Like recently, Japan has shifted their companies to other developing nations. Indian government should prioritize signing free trade agreements that will not only increase the Indian economic power, but also increase the world's stake in safeguarding Indian interest. We have to follow some of the points so that we can eventually reduce our dependence on the Chinese products. Like, first of all, we have to change ourselves for consuming the other products. Instead, we have to consume the domestic products. Secondly, we have to produce more in mass production so that we can reduce the cost of production. We should make our labor productive, so that in China, like they produces one mobile in 1 hour, 10 mobiles in 1 hour. Instead, India is producing only one mobile in 1 hour. Stability, yes, government should be there. Infrastructure should be given to the industries. Optimum power supply should be given. Another major focus we have to do is on education, like updated technology. We have to move on the updated technology. We have to explore ourselves to the global learning. Best universities, we have to build best universities. We have to give power and availability at the lower cost to the other companies. World-class infrastructure should be provided from our side to those industries. A government industries partnership should be there, so that the government can motivate small-scale industries. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nilesh, for your wonderful opinion. Now I would request Rajesh to please speak against the topic.
Good afternoon, everyone. Some of the viewpoints kept into discussion, I would like to add that the boycott China statement has just emerged out of nationalism and is an emotional one, but we should think rational. Although from past 2 months, the trending hashtags and WhatsApp forwards regarding boycott China has been on full swing, but in my opinion, rather than helping India, it will add an insult to the injury at this particular point of pandemic, and it will ruin us on a larger basis. If we talk about some of the eye-opener statistics that in India is being from past last financial year has uh, imported around 70 billion US dollars, the import total amount, and exported only around 16 billion dollars. And we have already more than $50 billion trade deficit with China from past 2 3 years. And past last to last year it was around 60 billion. So it shows around how much India is consuming about that. We have seen some of the topics in the discussion regarding the smartphones. We have seen televisions around 40 to 45% of market is from China. Internet applications around 66% of Indians have one Chinese app in their mobile phone. Solar power, 90%, impossible to substitute. And with pharma, around 70% of the APIs and has been brought in from China. If we talk about the investment, Chinese giants like Alibaba and Tencent and around 225 other companies has been investing in India since 2003. And the overall investment from China to India is around 26 billion. It consists of 8 billion US dollars for the startups only. Majorly, we have seen Swiggy, Ola, Paytm around 400, 500 million. And what the benefit that we will get from that? We get taxation benefits, we get exports, we get investment, we get employment. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajesh, for your wonderful opinion. And now I would request to Shubhi to speak for the topic and share her views.
Good afternoon to everyone. I am agree with the topic that yes, it is possible to survive without Chinese product. But again, this process will be a long, short process, which will take at least 10 to 12 years to happen. Because if we, as a customer, as India, as a customer, took and China took 20 years to establish to conquer India, then at least we can take 10 years to conquer them. As we can do this because so if we can reduce India's dependency on China. India can find alternative sources, import several items on which are critically dependent. If we start from initially in 1 year, we can substitute over 16% of the sensitive goods at the very same price. If we see 11.1% of overall import is of mobile sets and voice apparatus that can be substitute from France, Germany. 3.4% of the electronical apparatus has been imported, that is substituted by Korea and Japan. 3.2% of import is of data process, automatic data processing that can be substituted by UK and Italy. Other than that, we the one thing that we need to do is to use our pocket our wallet power, because if we don't use our pocket power, we do not allow ourselves to buy another product than Chinese product. Initially, we need to do is to increase our production, because we all have studied economics. If we increase the production in India, the cost of those products gets decreased. If those products get decreased in the price, we start buying those products. Other than government have
Thank you,
invested
Shruti.
about
Shruti, time's up.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shruti.
Yeah, thank
Now,
you.
Jitesh, please share your views against the topic.
So, is it possible to survive without Chinese product? I am against this topic, as firstly I would be talking about why do countries trade. Because given the diversity, no country has the potential to produce all the commodities in most efficient manner, or at least at cost. In India will need China, and China will need India for specific needs. China is the largest trading partner of India for imports. India imports US dollar 63 billion, 16% of its total imports worth of goods from China, and a major part consists of electric components, parts and ICs used in electronic goods and raw materials for producing generic medicines. India simply doesn't have the infrastructure to maintain and manufacturing enough range of quantity or quality of products at the same affordable price as China. Initiatives such as Made in India and Startup India are the way forward, but it will take time and this effort will become visible. So what happens if you ban exports from China? Firstly, Indian generic medicines will be badly hurt. India will no longer be able to produce cheap generic drugs. The prices of efficient medicines and subsequently go high. After that, if we talk about this, electronic industry will in the turmoil. All the key components such as integrated circuits, ICs used in electronic industries are imported from China. Almost all the solar equipments are imported from China. People in India will no longer have access to cheaper and affordable phones and white goods. Therefore, we can say that cutting off China goods will only harm our interest, at least in the short term. So we can say that all are the products, many products we import from China and we cannot do from that.
Thank you, Jitesh. Thank you, Jitesh, for your wonderful opinion. I'll request Steny to speak for the topic and share her views.
Good afternoon, everyone. I will be speaking for the topic. Indira Gandhi once said that a nation's strength ultimately consists of what it can do on its own and not what it can borrow from others. Coming back to the topic, can India survive without Chinese goods? I do think that it's going to be a difficult task for India, but not an impossible one. When we talk about India, India is in fiscal deficit with China. We import 14% from China and export just 5%. To quote an example, 22% of the world's generic medicine comes from India, but 70% of its raw materials come from China. This is one of the hard-hitting realities. And I do think that it's true. It is time for us to depend on Atmanirbhar Bharat and vocal for local. I believe that the two reasons for Chinese economy to flourish is its support to homegrown companies and using its population to its advantage. When I talk about India, according to the DPIIT report, there are 27,916 startups providing employment around 1.6 to 1.7 lakh per year. When I talk about MSMEs, according to the Bloomberg report, there are around 6.33 crore MSMEs providing employment of around 11 crores. With the pandemic that has occurred in the recent time, the economy is staggering and the unemployment rates have increased. The CMIE report says that the unemployment rate has increased to 7.96%. Right. So I do think that it's time for India to utilize its demographic factors to its advantage, push digitalization and entrepreneurship in order for it to free itself from the cheap product dictatorship of China. Thank you.
Thank you, Steny. Now I would request Himanshi Nema to please speak against the topic.
Good morning, everyone. Present here. Myself, Manshi. My topic is it possible to survive without Chinese products? Again, so India is one of the largest importer of the Chinese product and services. So India's trade deficit with China is among the largest among the two major trading partners. And if we talk about the India's import, it is $65.1 billion and export is 16 billion in this fiscal year 2020. So this shows that how much we are depending on the Chinese products and how much we are using the Chinese products. And moreover, if we talk about the medical on the healthcare products, like India is importing 69% of the raw material of pharmaceutical drugs from the China, and this is a very big percentage. And on the other hand, if we talk about the smartphones and electronic items, like China, we all know that China is the biggest player in the smartphones, and in the coronavirus, the 50% of the Chinese of the smartphone and smartphone sales have both the rates of the Indian smartphones is because the Chinese market has captured the uh, captured 51% of the Indian smartphone market. And not only this, if we talk about electronics, that is yeah, well over by 60% electronic items. Uh, so keeping keeping the Chinese product out of our daily life is practically impossible.
Thank you,
And
Himanshi.
Thank you,
Time's up.
Himanshi.
Thank you,
Thank
Himanshi.
you, Himanshi, for your wonderful opinion.
So thank you to all the participants for your worthy opinions. Now all the participants will be given a time of 1 minute to counter attack or conclude their debate. So let's start with Praful.
So, like Jitesh has said, that India's infrastructure is not good, and mostly companies are going to Vietnam and like other countries. So, I want to say that NHSI has announced to construct around 23 new expressways and economic corridor. So, it will reduce around time. So, like other countries take around 1 day for covering 800 kilometer. Uh, 400 kilometer, and India takes around 800. So these will reduce the time and will give more benefit to the India. And if you talk about the our skill development, that our government has many schemes like Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, so it will give a more skills to our population. Like China deeply knows that India has a huge population, and it has potential to take his position in the global supply chain. So India has to focus on two things: this infrastructure and
Thank you, Praful. Time's up. Praful, time's up. Thank you. Now, Mini, please conclude.
First, I would like to contradict my fellow mates. It's not about India only. The topic is it possible to survive without Chinese product? Here, the concern is economy as a whole. It is about developing in developed country as a whole, not only for India. Also, I would like to contradict a bit for the batch number 4 who came for 4 category. Ma'am, you said that local for vocal creating employment, but Vivo, who is a Chinese product, has created 2,000 more employment in 2019 also, and Xiaomi, whose manufacturing plant is in Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu, is also creating employment. So I would also like to conclude that because of globalization, all the countries are integrated and interrelated in some or the other way. So in coming years, possibility of self-reliance is vague and impractical. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mini. Nilesh, please conclude.
So I would contradict the point of Mini that she said that we have to means China's products are there for all other nations also. So if we see the other nations like Pakistan, Sri Lanka, they are already in the debt trap of Chinese companies. If we haven't shifted from Chinese products, China will automatically threat our. It will become a threat for our security, for our borders, and till how much time we can be dependent on Chinese? Means we have to take some of the initiatives to build our nation. We have the potential. Yes, we are 1.30 billion population, and we can produce. Like we are, our prime minister has already said about the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. Before banning 59 Chinese app, we were dependent on TikTok and all that. But afterwards, the app came like Metro, who are really doing well, and they are giving the loss of 3.5 crore to TikTok. So we cannot be
Okay, time's
dependent
up,
on
Nilesh.
Chinese.
Nilesh, time's up. Thank you, Nilesh. Rajesh, over to you. Please conclude.
For me, China is everywhere because the products which aren't assembled or made in China have their components imported from China as well. Many Indian companies have already released that how much components are being imported from China. We have seen the pharmaceutical part that a large amount of pharmaceutical ingredients like APIs and one of the major is paracetamol, which we use on a daily basis, is being imported from China. The truth behind the picture is that there are various parts and steps in a supply chain, but China is controlling all the major portions from mining to the finished product. And India and many other developing countries are nowhere near the starting line. Haven't seen that smartphone sale being down in these pandemic also. So major part is that if China decides to stop trading with India and working with India, then we should be ready to start living like Baba Ramdev or in a stone age. And the messages and tweets of boycott China that many Indians are doing on a daily basis. And I can say that my knowledgeable counterparts here are debating on the further topic, maybe using their Chinese smartphones and laptops.
Okay, Rajesh. Rajesh, time's up. Thank you. Now I would request Shobhi to please conclude. Shobhi, can you hear me? Shobhi, are you there? Okay, I think Shobhi has some connectivity issues, so I would like to call Jitesh to please conclude.
So I used to conclude by saying that I used to mention one thing that as per the data suggests that the Indian imports from China of electrical and electronic equipments has the biggest segment that includes amount of rupees US dollar of 19.97 billion during the year of 2019. And I like to conclude by saying only single point that it needs to be acknowledged that China's exports to India account for only 2% of its total exports. So even if India boycotts all the goods imported from China, it will not make a big impact on China, thus initiating a trade war when India manufacturing ability is limited, not going to the favor of India. We Indians will face many problems as we have a biggest share of imports of the items from China. Thank you.
Thank you, Jitesh. Now, Steny, please conclude.
First of all, I would like to clarify what Mini said about employment rates. First, about the employment rates. When we talk about 80% of the toys come from China, 67% of them are not of good quality products. Still, because of them, out of every 10 toy business in our country, 5 businesses fail and they cause loss to our employment as well. And first of all, we need to understand the profits that are generated by these Chinese companies go back to the Chinese companies. So that is one of the factors. Other factor that I would like to talk about is the pharmaceutical sector, because most of us talked about the reliance on pharmaceutical sector. Right now, India is planning to invest 10,000 crore for API, and India has 53 drugs that can be substituted, which is a good number. And talking about the investments, when we talk about the investments in unicorns by the Chinese, right now there are the new policies that are introduced, the FDI policy, or the new alternatives of investments that have come through the Sequoia Capital surpassing Tencent is a positive.
Okay, Steny, time's up. Thank you, Steny. Himanshi, please conclude. Himanshi.
So I just wanted to say that if we see China, China is a country which produce products at a cheaper rate with better quality, and they produce fast. So like our supply chain is very end-to-end with China, and so it would take a massive investment. It would take a massive investment in terms of time, talent, money, and resources to adapt to such a big change. And if we see almost every product that we consume, like technically China is producing the smartphone or the laptop, but if we are using the other brand product, and even those the components which are there installed in that product, they are also linked to China. So keeping in mind, so according to me, it is not possible to survive without the
Okay,
Chinese product.
Himanshi, time's up. Thank you, Himanshi. Shubhi, please conclude.
I want to counter the point that you said that self-reliant is impossible for us. It is not impossible, first of all, because if we are talking about replacing the Chinese product, then it is possible, but again, it will take some time. It is a long, short process. If some country is threatening our border, how can we trade with those countries? So the reason is that we are not into that we want a victory from China. It's all about being a self-reliant, because not today then when. India is being one of those countries who have maximum number of youth population to work upon. If we start producing in our country, become self-reliant, we are the only country who can be the supreme power country in the world, beating America, beating any big country.
Thank you, Shubhi. Thank you to all the dear participants. And now we have got a better understanding on Chinese products. Now I would like my fellow host Pooja to take the second debate ahead.
Thank you, Manasvi. Your office chair is your couch. Your commute is the length of your hallway. Your snack drawer is your entire pantry. Think it's a dream? Not these days, when we all are learning how to live with the reality of coronavirus. Work from home jobs are very much a reality. And this is the second topic of our today's e-debate. Work from home, blessing or disguise. I, Pooja Mishra, with my co-coordinators, are pleased to have on this panel who will speak in favor of the topic are Ankita Shukla, Karnika Jawar, Vinay Prithwani, and let's welcome the participants who will speak in against are Shubham Mathil, Nandini Natarajan, Himani Madavi, Tejaswari Pradhan. I would like to inform that due to some family emergency, one of our participants, Palak Premchandani, is unable to participate. As you already know the rules, so without taking much time, let's start the debate. I would now like to call my first participant, Ankita Shukla, to open the debate in favor of the topic. Ankita?
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Certainly, work from home has created wonder and become a ray of hope during this hard time. Almost the entire workforce of the country is doing that now, and world has never seen an exercise of this magnitude. The culture has opened up new range of possibilities for the way business can work and structure themselves, and breaking a taboo of less productivity associated with work from home. It has created magic not only for the large or big organization, but also for the small and medium level organizations, providing beneficial for both employee, employer, and environment. The companies are able to see improved employee retention, access to wider pool of opportunities and applicants, financial benefits, and reduced travel time. Thus, many organizations such as Twitter, Square, Facebook, TCS have announced and believe that office centricity is over. Apart from this, there are so many surveys has been conducted to analyze the effect of work from home on the employees. 70% of the people or the employee believe that they are more productive in home space rather than a traditional workspace. Reduced location barrier, art of being multitasking,
high number of women in the workforce and able to spend more time with the family are some of the benefits every employee would be able to relate with. Now, I strongly believe that due to the shift towards the new normal from work from home is certainly a blessing for us and the upcoming generation with high adaptability in every age group. Thank you.
Thank you, Ankita, for sharing your opinion. Now I would like to call Shubham Mathil to express his views against the topic. Shubham?
Yes, yes. Am I audible?
Yes.
Hello. Hello, everyone. So the today's topic is work from home as a guys, and I'm against it. So I want to say that there are many workers there are many activities which are interrelated to each and everyone in business and in the job in both the purpose. Like if we take the example of a person who goes daily to the office, so he has to use taxi. So the taxi is so that the income generation to a taxi is not available to the taxi driver, which is a very bad impact on his income. So it is also used to increase the inequality because the educated and the affluent classes are able to adapt these changes. But what about the low income people? As we also know that the pre pre COVID there is a study release of them. There is a high inequality in India. So what are the if we continue to work from home, then the low income level workers are mostly survive. In the US, there are seven vacancies for every 7 people of every 10 vacancies. In the very developed nation. What about India, where the many people are less educated and less interaction to the like devices, smartphone devices. There are many things is there. There are 59% need family attention. There is a 39% have household noises. 22% is a television noises. Concentration. There is a reduce in the concentration while working from home, and there is an extra workload on the workers if they are work from home. There are 10 to 12 hours employment.
Thank you, Shubham. Let me hear the views of Kanika Jawar in favor. Please unmute your mic. Kanika?
Hello.
Yes.
Good morning, everyone. Today, myself, Kanika Jawar, here to represent a topic on work from home is a blessing or disguise. As from my point of view, work from home is a blessing. How, as every business or every company or in a management, there is a rule that everyone should have to done the productivity work so that the company or a business can earn a more profit by reducing the minimum cost, as the work from home is a blessing. If the employees are working from home, they create more productivity and they can work more at the home, because this is a place where they can work more. And secondly, from work from home is helpful for the women also. Those women which are talented but they are not go outside because of the family issue, so they can go outside, they can work from home and earn money for the welfare of their family and for their loved ones. That should be good for work from home. And in a work from home, there should be a better life. For example, those who are working from home, they have to work also for the 5 hours 30 minutes, and those who are working from the office, they also have a same time. But from work from home, they can save the time. And from those who are working from the office, they cannot save for the time and they cannot spend time with their loved ones or their family, and they don't give their times to their children also. So work from home is good for the organization. Thank you.
Thank you, Kanika. Nandini Natarajan, Nandini Natarajan, please share your opinion.
Good morning, teachers, judges, and my fellow mates. My name is Daniel Rajan, and I'll be speaking against the topic work from home blessing or disguise. Professional and personal life is always advised not to be mixed. In the beginning, working from home, thinking it to be a blessing, may seem very comfort giving and relaxing, but it does not result actually the same way. People may isolate themselves depending on electronic items, resulting in abysmal effects on their mental status and health. After all, working on screens for hours and hours without any social communication, even tiny doubts or issues would be solved by being on calls or mails, piling up messages, short conversations turning into Slack messages. Completely depending upon technical equipment when you are at home and there is no backup. If something fails, well, obviously, there are fair possibilities. There are devices controlled by humans, they don't have senses. If one fails, it will affect the other and things will go down like dominoes. Other than this, like it said, out of sight, out of mind. New employees get more value when they come under one roof with their co-workers and executive, which is near to impossible to achieve when they're working from home. While working in office, managers and employees can easily hold short discussions, give small pacts. If they can find out if something is lacking, which promotes interaction, leading to employees' sense of association and competence. But this is not possible as well from working from home. Team spirit and work culture are two defining characteristics of every company, which cannot be made or groomed into employees by having meeting in month or say in a quarter. Different legal issues will arise surrounding labor laws, taxes, contracts, payment requirements, limitations. Accountability will go down due to absence of instant amendments and testaments. Installing VPNs, encryption software, router monitors. As we know, if there are software for security, there are ones for hacking and stealing too. So there goes my side. Working from home is a disguise which impersonates blessing, but this is not in the long run.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Nandini. Thank you, Nandini. Let's hear what Himani's opinions are. Himani, please unmute yourself.
Good morning, teachers and one and all present here. I am Himani. I take this opportunity in against of work from home. So, if I take the scenario of 2020, coronavirus gripped the nation across the world with fear, where we are used to sit in the cubicle from 9 to 6, but because of the high involvement is this COVID-19, the company is looking to look towards the work from home. So, as per my consideration, work from home has some key challenges too. As Nandini said, that there are lack of teamwork. The people are not feeling that they are working in the team. They're feeling that they are working individually. They're performing their tasks individually. And there are a lot of connectivity issues. Because of this, the document sending the document is taking the lot of time. The time it is time consuming, and it will affect the small and non-IT organizations, that they are not very much aware, and they are not very the technology usage is not that much familiar with them, so they are not operate on that. And there are non-IT companies like the fitter people and cabin crew people of the aviation industry. They are not working from home right now because the job of them is not like on IT or technology. They are fitter people working on the on the machine and on the equipments. So how could they work from home? And a survey is conducted according to the New Indian Express, over the 500 people, that where 62 people said that they are not feeling any workload because they have no any monitor to monitor them. So there are some issues in this.
Thank you, Himani. Now I would like to call Vinay. Let's hear his opinion in the favor of the topic. Vinay?
Good morning, everyone. I would like to bring your attention to major benefits, some of the major benefits of work from home models, as in this COVID-19 outbreak has led to massive turbulence in the global economy. But work from home has saved the economy by eradicating the layoffs and creating employment opportunities in the field like digital marketing, content writing, and SEO. The first benefit I would like to mention is to one standard one Stanford study found that employees who are working at home have 13% more productivity in comparison to their counterpart because they can take power naps, maintain work-life balance. As a result, it increases employee satisfaction, which helps in reducing absenteeism and employee turnover. In a study, it is found that 44% increase. In a study, it is found that 25% of employee turnover is reduced by work from home culture. The second benefit I would like to bring to your notice that it helps companies to cut overhead costs like office and electricity, which can be used in the money which is saved can be used in product development. One study found that 40% of the capital funding goes to landlords in Silicon Valley and companies and some major giants like companies like Google. SBI has announced work from home till 2021. It means they are in a capacity to operate remotely in a complete manner. The third benefit is company can hire talent worldwide from worldwide. For example, there is an app called Toptal which connected best software developers in the companies all around the world. And the fourth benefit is that it helps to save our precious time. An average Indian travels 2 hours of their day, 2 hours of their day to their work, and it also sucks out their energy. So this time and energy can be used for the productive purposes. And the last but not the least, the benefit to economy. The money
Thank you,
spent on
Vinay.
travel
Thank you, Vinay.
and eating out.
Thank you, Vinay.
Okay, thank you so much.
Now, what are your views, Tejaswari? Tejaswari.
Good afternoon, everyone. Work from home is in a boom in this pandemic situation and it has several advantages. However, it lacks in some of the basic areas. For example, maintaining data security and cyber security by individual working at home is difficult for them due to lack of technological infrastructure and lack of IT resources, and cybercrime has been increased. For example, in March and April, 86% cybercrime increased in India, and these crimes leads to the loss of corporate data and frauds and loss of personal data of employees as well. Second thing I want to highlight is the salary cut and the increase in the expenses of remote workers. Remote workers have to build a proper workstation at their house to work, and this is quite difficult for them who are living in rent and in guest accommodation. And in addition, electricity charges and good connectivity of internet is difficult for them. In office, we get ergonomic furniture, will have posture and good internet connection, unlimited access to it, and some recreational rooms, gyms, etc., which actually helps in unwinding the work and switching off the work at the end of the day. But at this having these perks at home is not affordable for the people, especially who are at the age bracket of 20 to 30. And there is even difficulty of promoting employees, as promotion cannot be done solely on the productivity, but it has to be done by considering positive attitude, skills, and different factors which are judged only when face-to-face interactions and physical interaction is possible. So these are the challenges corporate has to come.
Thank you, Tejaswari. Thank you, Tejaswari. Thank you all. Now, I would like to invite each participant to counter-argue and to conclude their debate in 1 minute. Starting with Ankita. Ankita?
Thank you. I would like to counter many points such as data security and work-life balance and team spirit. I believe that these were the things or situations which was previously also there and will always go and will always be there if the internet is there. Like, I can give you a very fine example. After the COVID-19, companies and organizations are actually emphasizing more on person's mental and physical health, implementing many kinds of small activities to increase the team spirit. In addition to that, they have also invested a large amount in order to secure their data, and we have also find a very less number of data security or cyber threat issues. So we should be able to focus on finding a solution rather than discussing on the problem. That is what my feel is about the work from home, that it is a shift towards a new change for us as well as the future generation, that instead of focusing on the work life balance and team spirit issues, we should be focused on how to reduce that.
Thank you, Ankita. Thank you very much. Shubham?
Yes, I like to I like to counter many points like it saves time. Where there is a 48%, there are 8 to 10 hour work which is done by the 48% of the employees, and 10 to 12 hour work are done by the 29% of employees. But there will be no wages against that. So in order to save time, we have to increase the number of hours in a day. I have so and it saves money. As anything is in work. So we used to order very quickly and very oftenly on Uber and Zomato or like. And if we talk about the women safety, there is a high surge in the women violence against women, which is released by the which is published by the government. And there is a real estate sector which will impact because the tax generated from this to government is very high. And
thank you, Shubham. Next is Kanika. Kanika?
Hello. I have to counter the point. As the my fellow friend said that there is a less percentage of possibility of working from home. As in the COVID-19, 68% job seekers are doing the work from home, and company are doing work from home. If in the pandemic situation they can do work from home, so they in the normal situation they also can work from home. As a TCS CEO Rajesh Gopinath sir has said that 75% will work from home in the 2025 in upcoming period, which will be helpful as the world is going to a digital park. So to follow that digitally, so the employees can work from home to reduce their fixed cost, and company can also reduce their cost in the infrastructure and space office also.
Thanks up,
Thank you.
Nandini. Thanks up. Thank you. Next is Himani. Himani?
Yes, from as per my concentration, work from home is not creating the workplace environment. Yes, people are working with their relaxing mode with their pajamas and with their relaxing sitting, but it's not matching the standard of the work, and it will not give the efficient and effective output or productivity. And if we talk about time, so yes, it will consume most of the times and huge distractions, and there are very misconceptions and miscommunication and interactions between the superiors and subordinates, between employer and employee, even with the teachers and with the students, as we all are learning from e-learning platforms, so it will
Thank
also
you.
impact there.
Thank you, Mani. Thank you. Next is Vinay. Vinay?
I would like to conclude by yes, I would like to conclude by saying that work from home is not a new concept. It was invented back in 1970, and 44% of US people are working from home in last 5 years. That helped them to save 44 billion US dollar. So work from home is not a new concept, but this COVID-19 pandemic has triggered the concept. And I would like to counter my counterpart, Nandini, who said that there are no security tools, but there are some security tools available on internet which can secure your data, like File Vault Locker, and there are also other tools and like project management apps like Asana can help to better manage the workforce. So at last, I would like to say that it is not The work is what we do, not where we go. Thank you.
Thank you, Vinay. Next is Tejeshwari. Tejeshwari? Hello? Are you there?
Yes, yes. Some of the members said that productivity increases, but this is not the same with all the sectors. For example, in a research conducted by Siki Mind Match, they said the productivity of IT sectors of 99.8% employees has actually decreased, and they lacks in learning things and exploring things and executing the things. Apart from that, someone has said that there are softwares for which data theft cannot be there, but working with heavy softwares on the computer, which are computer will hamper the activity of the employees, and thus productivity will also be hampered. That's all from my side.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you all. That was a good debate, and we have heard the mixed opinion from our participants. And with this, IPA's very first e-debate comes to an end. Now, I request our respected judges to share their valuable thoughts and inputs with all of us, and also to announce the winners of today's e-debate competition. Firstly,
Pooja, excuse me, my name was not called upon.
Sorry.
For the conclusion.
Okay, I'm so sorry. Priya, can you adjust the slide? Nandini, you can speak now. Sorry.
Okay. So some of my friends said that about the women and their family issues. Well, why are we letting them down? They are there in their home. They are taking care of family. And how will they be a part of the organization? They may have very few jobs that can be performed by them, which will be merely a part of job, not a job itself. And for one of the friends that said about the traveling issues, well, for traveling, this would promote regular exercise and awareness surrounding about the surrounding, which cannot be achieved by being at home and relying at news, because they don't cover some tiny important details. Other than that, it also decreases the sense of responsibility and promotes lack of belongingness to the company. It's like mixing oil and water. They won't get merged, but we'll leave a solution which does not fulfill both of their purposes. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and extremely sorry for the confusion. Thank you all. Now I request our respected judges to announce their valuable thoughts and inputs with all of us, and also to announce the winner of today's e-debate competition. Firstly, I would request respected Dr. Ashish Ghosh sir to express his thoughts and to announce the winners in each category against and favor for the topic, is it possible to survive without Chinese product? Sir?
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Hello. I'm audible
Yes,
to all of you?
Yes, sir.
And I'm visible also, I hope so.
Yes, sir.
Fine. So the topic that I judged was, is it possible to survive without Chinese products? After going all your these comments in against and for, so that whatever is coming out, it was quite बहुत ही कांटे, what we call it in Hindi, कांटे का मुकाबला. It was quite close. So before I give you those results, let me give you some of my thoughts that I think that I should share with you all. That some of you, let me tell you about 3-4 guys who had done exceptionally well. One is while giving your statements, some of you have given very good statistics, like Rajesh, Shubhi, Steny, and Himanshi. Himanshi. So those statistics, basically, when you give those statistics, उससे पता चलता है कि how much justified your statements are. So some of you have given very good statistics, and you have given in general those statements, but most of you had missed one very critical component that should be done for by a management graduate, by an MBA graduate, and that is कि ये होगा कैसे. None of you have questioned that thing कि आपने सब चीज context वगैरह सब तो बता दिया, but how to do those things. So let me give you some of the data that I had also collected. How to bring those, how to do it. जैसा how to do it का एक मैं आपको एक बहुत अच्छा छोटा सा एक बताता हूँ कि when you will be working in shortly soon you will be working in business organizations, and if you are working in a very good organizations, every year you will be doing some projects, and that will be a major part of your PMS. So उसमें initially you have to do 2 projects. One will be a replication, and the first one will be your new project. So new projects, and this replication is basically based upon your process optimization or cost optimization. इसी 2 चीज पर बात होती है in a business organization, and 25% of your PMS ratings goes into this. So you should have that thing to question how to do those things. आपने बता तो दिया इतना सब data देके, but how to do those things? I give you one very small quote. See, there were millions and billions and trillions of people who saw the apple falling down to the ground, but there was only one person who questioned why this apple falls into the ground, and what is the result? We got a concept called as acceleration due to gravity, which changed the whole of the physics. That is 9.8 meters per second square. तो ये आप में होना चाहिए कि करेंगे कैसा, सब चीज तो ठीक है, how to do those things. So that was a bit shortage, and as a management graduate in 3rd semester, I was looking into that. Some of the data मैं आपको बताऊं कि when you move into the statistics, some micro level data आप निकालिए कि कौन सा हम replace कर सकते हैं, कौन सा replace नहीं कर सकते. For example, there are 8,000 items which are imported in India from China, and that cost about 40,101 crores, of which electronic components are 9.15%, telecom is 8.5%, and computer hardware and peripheral 6.3%. Rest, baki, those are basically low tech items. और ये non-essential items है, which constitutes about $8 billion, that is around 25% to 30%. ये हम इंडिया में इसको तुरंत in the first phase, say phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. In phase 1 we can replace this. कौन सा चीज है, like toothbrush, क्या ये इंडिया में नहीं बन सकता है? बनता ही है, but still we import it from China. That is only due to that cost factor. Your this green tea, toys, as well as handicraft. You see, handicraft last year $431 million import किया गया China से. We can do it. So these are the things which can be done in the first phase. पहला सबसे पहले you can replace those things. और एक मैं आपको बताता हूँ, in 2015, if you see this Manohar Parrikar का एक conference में he was giving a lecture on. In 2015, Indians came to know that most of their Ganesha idols is coming from China. These things can be in the first phase. इसी तरह से तो आपको करना है. See, as a management graduate, you need to show कि कौन सा items पहले करना है. Now coming about this electronic components or API, many of you have told about this API. API हम एक दिन में नहीं कर सकते हैं. We don't have that capacity at the moment. उसके लिए time लगेगा. Same with electronic components. Some of you said that Xiaomi वगैरह ये सब यहाँ पे बनाता है. See, nothing is बनाना. यहाँ पे कुछ बनाता नहीं, इधर only assemble होता है. The components, it comes from China and other countries, from Taiwan, and raw material cost, that is the components, that constitutes around 70%. So and assembling is hardly 10 to 15% of your cost. So ये सब वो जो ठीक है यहाँ पे make in India, but the components we need to replace those components. So these are some of the things. Plus one I would like to say about the cost के बारे में. 9% of our cost goes into transportation, energy, and logistics in India if you manufacture it. Plus interest rates of the loans are quite high, जो कि वहाँ पे advantage है China. ये सब चीज अगर कम कर सकते हैं तभी we can make it. So these are some of the items that I was looking into, and I wished I could have heard those things from you. Nonetheless, everything was quite good. And there was a very tough fight between this ये कौन सा था? Just a minute, hold on. For me it was between Steny and Shubhi, but Steny got the first prize. So big hand to Steny for being for topping this for. And the thing that differentiated was basically the statistics part. Statistics थोड़ा इनका थोड़ा ज़्यादा तगड़ा था. And same with against me, it was Rajesh Manglani who topped this against wala segment. So thank you very much, both of you, and rest of you also. You did wonderful. But 19-20 में तो जो 20 था, these are the two people who were ultimately the 20 people. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your flattering remarks. Now, I request Dr. Amit Tiwari, sir, to share his thoughts and views with us, and also to announce the winner in each category against and in favor of the topic, work from home, blessing or disguise. So,
okay, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
The topic is work from home, blessing or disguise. Although it's a very tough competition and you have put your point in a very well mannered, but
so participants, let's wait for Amit sir to come back again.
Meanwhile, I'll request Dr. Vaibhav Lavlekar sir to share his few words with us. Dr. Vaibhav Lavlekar sir.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Again, I am here, and my interest is always to see all of you. As it's long time, in fact. I see you, but every week, so it's really nice. And I must congratulate the winners for the first row. They really did well, and I won't elaborate into it as Ashish sir has already done, but I'd like to say one thing. Yes, it is true. All of you have given really good data, and topped by Dr. Ashish Ghosh. He also has given the data, and all of you know I love data. So that was nice to hear from all of you. And it's been a pleasure. It's always a pleasure to see you. And nowadays it is more so, because I rarely get the occasion to talk to the students. So it's nice to see you, and I'm happy that you are keeping up the spirit which you had earlier. You're not changed. Please keep it up. I wish you all the best. And I must thank the coordinators. They have done in fact, a fantastic job. So congratulations to them also. Plus the faculty mentors. So they also deserve a lot of thanks from my side. They did it really well, and I hope that we'll be able to keep it up. And one thing which I must say, see, these activities are not only to keep you engaged or keep your morale high. It's also for us. When you participate, तो हम लोग को बहुत अच्छा लगता है. Our morale also goes up. हाँ, अभी सब चीजें ठीक चल रही हैं और हम फिर से बहुत अच्छे से काम करने वाले हैं. So keep it up. Thanks a lot. All the best. Wish you all the best. Thank you.
Sir, I am ready with the result.
Sir, please. Sir, मैंने इसलिए अभी कुछ नहीं बोला इस बारे में. Please, you continue.
The internet connection is a problem right now in the college. So the topic was excellent as far as blessing and disguise is concerned. But what I realized, it depends on the profession. Now, there are certain professions which require emotional connect, but there are certain professions in which you just have to perform your task and you have to submit the same. So it becomes blessing or disguise, both we can say. But all the participants have put their viewpoint on the same, and there is a very tough competition. I'm not going to elaborate because nowadays I am reading a research paper yesterday, how to keep employee emotional connected when working from home. So this is what the challenge that we are going to face in the coming time. So the result is very tough competition as far as SOR is concerned. Ankita and Vinay both have raised very excellent points as far as the blessing is concerned. And while in the against, Nandini Natarajan has make very valuable points as far as the topic is concerned. So it's a very tough competition. Just the difference of 1 point that I'm observing of. So winners for is Ankita Shukla, and winners against is Nandini Natarajan.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. And with that, we conclude IPO's very first e-debate. I, Pooja Mishra, thank you all for giving us your prize time and joining us on this virtual platform. Now, I request my co-coordinator, Manasri, to carry further.
So here we conclude the e-debate, The Big Fight Season 1, with a commendable and exceptional performance by our highly endowed and motivated students coming across various sections. We would also like to thank Dr. Amarjeet Singh Khalsa Sir, Board of Directors, Dr. Vaibhav Lavlekar Sir, Dr. Mahesh Soni Sir, Dr. Harish Kulkarni Sir, and all the dear faculty members and fellow participants. I hope you all guys enjoyed the debate. Thank you for joining us on ePlatform.